Well,
While we're waiting, is anybody from Germany on the team on SRI? I thought there was a lady that was from Germany.
yes, yes. Marie-Louise Häuser is from Germany, and Sabine Heinz also from Germany. But I am afraid none of them are in this committee. So I don't know.
Oh, have they left? Well, I'd like to send them an email because I have a student that wants to move to Germany and pursue some
I
kind of.
I see. Okay, so I will share the email address of
In the chat. Okay.
the two ladies. Yeah, in the chat. Just a moment. One is Sabine Heinz. Put it in the chat here. Okay, Sabine Heinz lives in Berlin, and
Okay.
Marie-Louise is in Monaco, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I have just posted the two addresses in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, I don't know if Dinis understood. Let me do one more thing. I will write to the other meeting that was supposed. Is not this one. Everybody's always connected, but when you need uh, some feature, some connected feature is not available, of course. Okay, so this is the other one, correct? Just a moment. Un momento. I have to be sure what I'm doing. Okay. Salute. Ok, allora scriviamo a questi.
Hold it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, let's hope that everybody understood. Okay. So I think we can start, and then if somebody will join, we will summarize things for them. So, okay, this is the Triple E committee. Sorry, my voice is not maximum level. However, the Triple E committee, that is, it means energy, economy, environment. And the scope of this committee is to discuss the energy issue 360 degrees on Earth, in space, on the moon, in the cislunar space, on Mars, and behind. So the energy, power supply. By the way, we had an interesting seminar a couple of days ago in Italian language, by the way, with an expert, an Italian expert of this kind of things, and it was sorry, I'm making a confusion probably. And that means that I am tired and I am starting to make confusion, too much confusion. But I think it is what I was saying is probably true. Events. Okay. This one. Yes, we had an interesting meeting with Francesco Lodi from Enea. Is the chair of the project Selene, and it is a project that aims to put small reactors, small nuclear reactors on the moon to feed the moon village and the permanent base and whatever will be on the moon. So we have learned some interesting things in this meeting, and everything, our interest for this topic begin with an analysis that was made some months ago about the quick rising of energy global demand in the world due to several reasons, main of all the new technologies, emerging technologies linked to artificial intelligence and electronic money, electrical mobility, and in general terms, the general electrification of many of the industrial and processes in the world. So the energy demand is rising very much. The renewable sources and the fossil sources are growing both together. So they are not exchanging, replacing one each other as it was foreseen by some strategies or green transition and so on. And together they are not able to pair the rising demand of energy. So, of course, there will be other solutions, maybe, and we don't know what it will happen, even because the situation is not easy in the world nowadays with wars and counterposition of old and new imperialisms. And so it will be not easy to conceive and to apply solutions. But we think we had an idea. After that, making some research, we understood that we were not the first ones to have this idea. But I think the idea is very important because it is The idea is to relocate big data farms in orbit. So moving the data farms in orbit will mean that the power supply will not be done on Earth, so it will not weigh anymore on the Earth energy sources, but it can be done in space directly from the sun. So, okay, of course, it's not easy. There are some problems to be overcome, but it is possible. And some companies, companies and research entities are still working on that. One is a United States startup called Star Cloud, and the other one is a European, quite we can say old aerospace, because it is Thales Alenia Space, is maybe the main European space group, and they started a project a study, feasibility study, in 2022 about exactly this idea to put data centers, big data centers in space. So what we are doing and what we want to do with this idea. First of all, we already presented this idea at COPWAS in Vienna at the Scientific and Technical Subcommittee that took place in February, a few weeks ago. I was there and I gave a presentation about this idea. A 10-minute presentation, by the way. We can, if you like, we can also see it. It will not take such a long time. Directly from the recorded video at the UN in Vienna. We have submitted an abstract to the IAC 2025 that will take place in Sydney, Australia, end of September and first day of October this year, on the same topic. And of course, while the presentation made at COPWAS was a very, very short conceptual presentation, what we want to do for IAC is to develop a paper. So it will be a bigger work for us, because we want to make an investigation on what is the state of the art of the different studies and projects going on, and also to put together some basic requirements about possible development of this kind of initiative. So this will be the work. This will be a work of this committee. Of course, IAF will accept the abstracts in the IAF spring meetings in Paris from 24 to 27 in March, so in a few weeks. So we are not sure that they will accept our abstract, but I think they will. But however, if not, we will in any case develop our paper. We will make a white paper on this argument that will be publicized and given to our audience for the discussion and for the initiatives and so on. So this is what we want to do. First of all, if you like, we could have a first round of comments and on the opportunity to carry on this idea and to develop our paper on that. Then, or if you like, before that, I can show you my presentation that I gave at Copos. Yeah, maybe so we can enter a little bit better in the matter. Now I'm looking for the video. Oh, YouTube. YouTube, my channel. Oh, but this is not Space on Essence, switch account. Switch account. But maybe you can reach it quicker from the website. Just a moment. Yeah, Triple Energy, Triple E. Here it is. Now I will share. Just a moment. Stop.
The show on my list is on Triple E Energy.
Okay, I will share my desktop. Share. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Now I try to make the video to start. I don't know why it doesn't start. Oh, God. Impossible. I don't understand. What is always doing something.
You can send us the link. We'll try to get it see it on our side.
Yeah, but I don't know why now my mouse changed to an edit mode.
Click right there. You've got there. Click. Oh,
So this is the okay. Maybe close. Oh, finally.
Fifth presentation on my list is on Triple E Energy, Economy, Environment, the case for big data funds relocation in outer space, by the Observer for Space Renaissance International. You have the floor.
Thank you very much,
And can you also hear
Chair
the audio?
and distinguished delegates.
Yep.
Presentation start.
Maybe you don't hear.
So this is called Triple E
I
Energy
can hear.
Environment, because look at the energy issue from a general 360-degree.
Sorry, can you hear the audio?
yes.
Okay. Because in other cases it was not available the audio, but now it is.
Good.
Good.
Next slide, please. So raising energy demand and wars are sinking the green transition. The world primary energy demand is rising, and wars deter and absorb large public environments. The green transition is at a standstill and never started to work. The ongoing wars have deterred and absorbed a large portion of public investments. Oil and gas industry keeps on investing in hydrocarbons and only spend 1% in renewables. Oil groups have revised their decarbonization objectives downwards. The automotive sector's switch to electric cars is struggling to take off. The equivalent CO2 emissions have actually increased profitably and very rapidly. The transition phase has never really started to work, and the European Green Deal is a major program of austerities. The working classes and the production world are suffering the most. The ecological transition is a policy designed for times of peace, and war calls all this into question. Yet wars are not the sole cause of the standstill. Renewables are growing at high speed, which is good news, yet fossil fuels are not decreasing. We are witnessing a parallel process that makes useless the obtained efficiency advantages. The world's energy demand keeps on growing. There are now more sources to satisfy it, yet fossil and renewable sources altogether are not enough. A slow replacement of fossil fuels with renewables is possible, if and only if the global energy demand decreases. And this is not just a question of wasteful usage. To run artificial intelligence, e-money, and other emerging technologies, supercomputers and big data servers are sucking up ever-increasing quantities of energy. Storage is mandatory to manage non-programmable power sources like solar and wind. Extracting and processing the requirement minerals and rare earth, cobalt, and other elements also require a huge amount of energy. Such processes often take place in countries that still produce power by burning coal. Thus, the amount of CO2 emitted to the atmosphere is actually increasing despite the decarbonization policies. The energy transition, the way it is being done, is actually backfiring. Computational power for sustaining artificial intelligence rise is doubling every 100 days. A per 10 improvement in AI efficiency requires computational power demand up 10,000 times. Energy required to run AI annual growth rate is 26 to 36%. By 2028, AI could be using more power than Iceland used in 2021. AI life cycle impacts environment. So the big data farms cause unbearable increases in energy bills in the surrounding areas. Maybe to move big data servers and AI supercomputers in orbital and moon data farms could be a solution. The global energy demand trend marks a meaningful change in growth rate at the birth of emerging techs. The second table shows the percentage impact of emerging techs on the global demand of energy. The benefits of electronic society will become more and more expensive privilege reserved to the wealthier classes. Private transportation will be reserved for the affluent. The lower classes will be educated for collective mobility and to accept the authorities' ability to deem what is truly necessary and what will be defined as superfluous. Next slide, please. There is an alternative to this inescapable and narrow path. The outlook fully changes through the innovative perspective of civilian space development, expanding civilization into outer space. Progressively moving industrial development into the geolunar space will halve the growing demand for energy on Earth, and it will relieve Earth's environment, acting as an authentic green transition. Such a solution can be optimal for both true progressive people interested in social growth for all and for true libertarian people interested in freedom and the real free market. These two positions, both sharing humanist ideals of progress, can work together. Energy is the very keynote of the current break-even of human history. The demand and the use of energy affect all aspects: economy, environment, social conditions, lifestyle, and evolution. If we remain closed within Earth's boundary, our civilization will be forced to hard restrictions. That will determine a step backward in the Kardashev roadmap of anthropological elevation. An example: the World Wide Web is perhaps the greatest anthropological achievement of the last 100 years. If we remain closed within Earth's boundary, our civilization will be forced to renounce to it, or to hard restriction of its use to few privileged people. Normal Earth citizens might be requested to stop even communicating for the sake of energy saving. The gap between electricity supply and demand in 2030 is a quick ramping value, as shown by this table. So, a space transition is needed. The green transition has failed. Renewables are growing, yet fossil sources are growing as well. Together, The two of them cannot pair with the increasing demand for electrical energy supply. The green transition strategy was based on the assumption that energy demand would decrease. But the electrical energy demand caused by artificial intelligence, web communication, electronic money, electrical mobility, and big data servers are contradicting all of this and determine the failure of the green transition strategy. So a space transition is needed, moving industrial development to geolunar space, place big data farms in orbit, generate electrical power in space. The main stakeholders of big data to space, moving big data to space, the first beneficiary will be the green transition itself. Being fed by solar power directly in space, the huge energy demand of big data farms will be shifted out of planet Earth, as well as the heating directly dissipated in space. The social and economic growth, placing large servers and supercomputers in Earth orbit and on the Moon, will contribute to the energy balance on Earth, a key factor for sustainable social economic development on Earth and beyond. For Earth to support global agriculture and water supply, for crisis deployment and containment, and for mass education and governments. And 17 SDGs, the big data in space is ideal for the rapid implementation of the 17 SDGs, as it will allow many billions immediate access to well-designed pathways for problem-solving initiatives according to their needs, locations, and circumstances. The benefits include the protection of human rights, and 100% inclusivity at various levels might be enhanced by big data space. Big data farm will also process data flow transmitted from Earth via mass communication and social media, information collected from civil society concerning crisis and 17 SDGs implementation. Integrated computational servers can collect and collate a large quantity of data, analyze and then transmit responsive and optimal returns. The large capacity of space-based data servers could enhance many levels of global security, including illegal border traffic such as arms, drugs, etc. The easiest route for collaborative space-based data security under Outer Space Treaty provisions is via interchange and verification mechanism techniques used for global nuclear monitoring. The downtime of onboard computers is greatly reduced and transmission capacity is greatly enhanced. Big data banks can also be placed on the Moon and in the Lagrange points. Contributors will be large international research entities such as CERN or Jefferson Lab, that may play a role in a broad collaboration environment for building a new big data space ecosystem, including contribution from commercial, organizational, and governmental entities. The space agencies of all countries might provide scientific and technological support. Private commercial companies will be highly interested to contribute. United Nations and UNOSA in particular might provide legal assistance for human rights, international collaboration, and inclusivity purposes. And 18 SDG Act might work as an harmonizing house in this capacity. Okay, so thanks you very much for your attention. Of course, SRI is ready to help in any aspects to support initiatives to move big data farms in space. Thank you very much.
I thank the distinguished observer for Space Renaissance International for the presentation.
Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay, this was my my presentation in February at COPWAS in Vienna. After that, we have continued our researches. I think that maybe Alberto would like to say something about what he had found around. And of course, if any of us has comments, please go ahead.
I can add that I was a little skeptical about this, but I changed my mind because I found that several initiatives that are already going on. First of all, the very important study performed by Thales Alenia Space on behalf of the European Union, the Hammond project, and they evaluated the costs and impact of moving data centers to space and prepare the feasibility study that was very detailed on that. The only point is that I don't know if this is going, what now will follow, because this kind of study was done. The result was positive, meaning that the main purpose was to define the sustainability of the solution from the point of view of environment, and the conclusion was positive, that it would be favorable to environment. Then there are startups like StarCloud that in the US that propose solutions of this kind. There are with less advanced studies, but they are moving fast, and then this kind of initiatives are going on. So, but going on as studies. I don't know if someone has any information about projects that are really being pursued by commercial companies in that. I can also show something about those projects, but I don't know. Maybe later on, if you like, I can show something about those two topics, about StarCloud and about the Ascent project.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, that would be interesting. I would like to see. Thank you.
okay. So I share my screen. Okay. Okay. This can you see it?
Oh,
Yeah.
This is the website of the Ascent project, and this is the presentation of what they have done. First of all, starting from this, it was a EU-funded project led by Thales Alenia Space and involving several other companies. I think here we have somewhere the complete list of the companies, the consortium. These are all the companies that are involved, including Airbus, including Thales Alenia Spain, Thales Alenia from France, that was the leader, Vito from Belgium, and so on. And basically, they have studied this kind of solution. It is very interesting because it is a modular solution, including hexagonal modules that can be launched in a complete solution with all the hexagonal tiles that are, of course, put in a pile inside the fairing of the rocket, and then they are assembled in space by robotic. There is also a video here. It is available also on YouTube. I don't know if it's time to. Okay, before just to show what they have done. This kind of solution is a 800 kilowatt, and it's modular, so it can be launched in pieces. Each one is independent because it has the computers in the middle. It has the solar panels and the cooling system, because it's very important for data centers, the cooling system. And in space, there is the limitation, of course, that only radiation cooling is allowed. So this is the solution by Thales Alenia Space, just to be short. And StarCloud is an American startup that they have prepared this. This is the animation they have prepared on their website. They immediately proposed a big data center of 5 gigawatt. But of course, they also explain what they can do. And basically, the same topics, but I don't think they have studied so much about how to launch and assemble this kind of systems. I think that the modular solution would be better. But in any case, they are working on this project, and we are already in contact with them, and we have organized a webinar with them
Yeah.
in June 16 on the 16th of June.
Yes, we will have their CEO, it's Philip Johnston. We'll give a lecture on that, the 16th of June, in a webinar in the Specialist Academy webinar series frame. So it will be very interesting. We will learn something maybe.
So basically, this was to show that something is already going on. So we are not just shooting in the dark.
Yeah.
But maybe other ideas, and of course, the main point is that we have to prepare this presentation for the IAC. This is, I think, the main point.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting to see our abstract that we have submitted right now. I don't know if everybody has it. Maybe not. So I will open it now. First of all, I find it. So I see 2025 abstracts, triple E energy. I'm sorry. UFA.
I have a small question about the clouding space from Thales Alenia. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, what about lunar gateway? Anything on the moon, or just the orbits considered were which kinds of orbits did you consider trying to find here on the?
Yes, this is a very important point. If you put at the center of the moon, on the moon, you have a big issue about latency, because you have a delay of 2.5 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Of course.
So basically, both the proposals that I showed are based on a sun-synchronous orbit. That allows to have the constant exposure to the sun, to have constant energy without batteries, but at a low Earth orbit. I think maybe I think it's better to maybe to show the video by Thales. I can share again if it works.
Okay. I was asking because I think it's about to land on the moon, and the payload from Nokia, right? Which is slightly just for, but there's others, I think.
Yes, they have put there is an experiment in a first lander that was called, but it's only a data bank. You can put on the moon data banks just to store data, because
That's entirely
the
different.
retrieval time is not so important. You have a delay of 2 seconds and a half, that doesn't matter. But you have to train AI or something like that. The delay is too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I can share again, and we can see if okay, because we have here. I'll try to launch this video. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is no audio, but I think it's not important.
No audio, no, as usual. It's not important, it's only music.
Yeah, the music is nice. I have it here on the website. I found it. So the difference between storage and capabilities must be quite considerable. Data bank, so it's much smaller, just for local use, I would think. I don't know. So a cloud is something quite different. Like almost like a data center, basically, a real ground-based one, or similar to a ground-based one, right?
Sorry, I can only hear the music from the video. You cannot, but I can.
No, because there is a trick to do that. When you share, you have to choose to flag the proper checkboxes to share the audio to. Yes, I didn't know it. I have learned that a few weeks ago. However, okay, I think the important was the images here, not the audio.
Oh, yes, there is somewhere to tick some checkbox, but in any case, it was only music. But I could only hear the music. I couldn't hear the questions.
Yeah. However, I think the important point in the Thales Alenia space model is the modular configuration, because they can start from one only module that is complete, having both the servers and the solar panels around in those hexagonal configuration, and then they can add different. They can add more modules up to a very big infrastructure. I think that's better, maybe a better strategy with respect to having a central concentration of the servers and a very big solar panel for maybe 4 kilometers side to generate 5 gigawatts. Well, I think to have a modular configuration is better.
I have a question.
Please go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little out of touch with the details, but one of the biggest problems with computers and in being in space is bit flips, with cosmic radiation and gamma rays hitting the circuit boards, and the smaller the circuit boards, the bigger of a chance of one of those bits, the ones becoming 0, 0 becoming a 1, and the randomness becomes increased exponentially. And radiation hardening a computer is extremely difficult to do. Has there been advances in the technology to make that easier to do? Because if you're dealing with a data center with a lot of hard drives and a lot of storage, the chance of failure and error could be really huge.
That's correct. But this topic has been faced with an experiment. For instance, on the ISS, the server computers of the kind of servers were brought to the International Space Station and tested extensively tested, and it was found that the big issue was the solid state drives, the SSDs, because those had several failures, while the CPUs themselves didn't suffer much from radiation, and so they are going on with these studies, but essentially, for sure, some shielding will be needed, because we cannot harden the computers themselves, because otherwise you have to use the computers that they already use on the ISS and other, in general, spacecraft. And those computers are a very old technology from the point of view of the circuits, and they are hardened to resist to the radiation.
That was an historical problem. I remember when I was working for some space company in the past century, they told me, I used to work for an Alenia company in Italy, and they told me that the electronics on board of the satellites was 30 years old, because it was certified to be rad hard. That means resistant to the cosmic radiation. and that is still this is still the reality of the electronics for
Yes,
space.
but they have found that they are experimenting this. They have experimented it on the ISS, and they have basically. I think the solution that all those people from Thales and others are proposing is to add shielding.
Right.
Yeah.
And the next question I have is, what about the vibration of launch? Because when you
Yeah.
have delicate computer equipment with a high vibration level, damage happens.
Yeah, that's true. Vibration, yes.
Yes, but I think also this. Yes, of course. I did not study personally this to this point, but I think they have already checked this with the equipment they have sent to the ISS, and I think currently is less an issue. Is less an issue with most recent technologies. I think the radiation issue is bigger. The issue of vibration maybe is a little less. Anyway, this is also true. In any case, for whatever you send to space, this is there. Must be studied more, maybe. But I think the biggest issue is radiation, is not this. And the other point, I think the main point is the cooling system, because there is a lot of heat generated by those computers, and in space you only have radiative cooling possible, and so you need a big radiation cooling system, and in any case you need the liquid circulation inside the system between the radiator and the computers, and so this is a very delicate. I think it's a very delicate point that has to be studied very very well.
You might run into a situation where the radiating panels may be larger than the solar panels because you're going to be generating so much excess heat.
No, I can show you. No, they are 1/3 of the solar panels.
Okay.
You can see it. I can share again because it's already. If you look at, okay, I have to find the correct window. Okay. I don't know what happened. Okay.
So if I understand correctly, the market would be a ground-based market, and the data center orbiting would be basically competing with the ground-based data centers, right?
Sorry.
I think
Yes.
that's correct. The idea is to save on energy usage on Earth by diverting these resource-heavy equipment and systems to orbit or to the moon.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that actually would be a very specific example of the whole concept from Blue Origin to move the factories outside the biosphere, I guess.
Yes, for sure. Exactly. Yes. And
Exactly
anyway,
right.
this is the illustration of the Ascent project. You can see each module includes one module of computers, 18 solar modules of solar panels, and 4 modules of cooling.
Oh,
The cooling, of course, is 90 degrees. In the side view, you see the cooling. In the front view, you don't see it because it is behind. So
We
you
can
have
see
4
the
modules
International
against
Space
18.
Station we can see the International Space Station as a watermark to give the size.
Yes.
okay. That makes a little bit more sense. All right. I wasn't sure about the issue with the radiative cooling. Thank you.
My pleasure. And of course, I think what's interesting in this solution is the modularity, because it also facilitates launch. Because all these modules are designed to be launched in in a heap, and they are put together for the launch, and then they are assembled in this shape. It recalls the solution of the James Webb telescope. The mirror is made like this in the end. Several hexagon elements that are assembled in space.
The old solar power satellites designs required some kind of robotic thing similar to the Canadian arm on ISS. What kind of robotic devices are being considered to build it, or is it something that would unfurl like a blossoming flower type thing?
No, it's by robots. It's assembled by robots. Anyway, they have not studied yet the detail of the robots, but it is if in the video it was shown that it is assembled by the robots.
Are there any Canadians involved?
Sorry?
Sorry, I was just asking whether there were any Canadian robotic companies involved.
No, there were not.
Arms. The Canadian arms, it makes.
No,
yes.
no. Not only an arm, it's an independent robot. Free floating in space. It was shown
Right,
in the video.
No, I was just thinking about the Canadian industrial base, basically.
No. Only European companies, because this was a project by the European Union. So
Of course.
only European companies were involved.
Mhm.
This was fully financed by the European Union.
Yeah.
In any case, it's only a study that was a preliminary study. In any case, they prepared all of this. It's very interesting.
Good. So, yeah, I think if you like, we can have a look at our abstract, where we have listed a number of requirements that will be hard for us to define. But so, okay, the abstract is useless to read it because it's basically the same thing that I said in my presentation, more or less. But some conceptual work packages that we will try to develop in our paper: stakeholders analysis, users on Earth and in space, basic user requirements, maintainability, availability, and readiness, and affordability, and all of the things, technologies needed for different cases: Earth orbit, Moon, Lagrange point, and of course not only technologies but also application, possible different application for data repository or real-time responding servers. Architectural design concepts, power feeding open space on the Moon, communication infrastructure needed for data input and output, and interaction with communication satellite infrastructures, orbital and cislunar. So yeah, we will try to outline these classes of requirements, of course, without claiming to write it in detail, because if we wanted to write it in detail, it will take very much time, huge time and resources, and also it will be very much bigger than an IAC paper that's normally about 10 A4 pages. But okay, so this is just an overview of what we aim to do in before September. Okay. Of course, who wants to be co-author? Please just say it, and we will add to the co-authors. And of course, all the drafts will be shared inside the committee, so everybody can work on it and make comments and suggest changes and so on.
I'm not technically qualified to be able to give a very specific contribution. However, I'm going to speak with a Portuguese space company called Critical Software, they were doing the software, independent software verification and validation for the software on Gateway. So they're experienced in just making sure the software it doesn't that it works smoothly. So they might I might try to I'll see what if they can get them to together with me to have some kind of a small one paragraph, some small input, some minor contribution. But I think the integrity of the software is absolutely crucial. So and there's funding in Portugal from Portuguese Space Agency for resilient communications, quantum keys from space and things along those lines. So I'll try to chat with them.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That would be very useful, I think. And however, about co-authoring is not requested in any of our papers. Never request specific technical or scientific skills, because we also consider other requirements. Let me say, we start from the other requirements, from the human requirements, the humanistic requirements. So who will be the users? Who will be the maintainers? There will be needed or not human technicians on board these kind of space plants, big data servers. We will also talk about that we always talk about that in our papers, not only about scientific details, but also about human requirements. So
I have visited some data centers here in Portugal, and where the ending of underwater cables connect to other things, and they're surrounded by a lot of barbed wire. So the ability to provide protection and defend against some sort of slightly disruptive some other thing that might get in touch with that thing. So that was also maybe an element to be considered, because the French Space Force, they're very adamant to have things that they will protect, and people say exactly what kind of infrastructures would justify protection, what kind of thing that would really require, like if you have a building, you have the someone at the entrance to check the cards, who's getting in or who's getting out, I guess. I don't know, but something it might be it's quite interesting. It's a very good example of something that would be required to have some kind of integrity and protection, I guess. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting.
I just wanted to comment that NASA had proposed a space solar power where they beam solar power down to the Earth, and that never really took off. NASA kind of lost interest in that over time, where they would have big, huge satellites beaming down, with solar.
Yes. It was very discussed some years ago, this kind of solution, but during the last years, I think the interest is going down, even because some of the main supporters of the solar space-based solar power also say that that solution will also need new technologies to launch everything, and somebody also say that the space elevator will be needed. So that means that not only the technology for beaming solar power to Earth will need to be validated, but also the concept of a space elevator should be developed and prototyped, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That means that
there's problems with
that kind of pollution is a little bit more far away in the time, if it will come someday or not. Other problems also is that, I think this is my point of view, that if we try to bring more energy on Earth, we will somehow rise the pressure inside of the planet atmosphere, and that's something that I think we should avoid, because the main reason to start moving outside and to start in civilian space development, one of the main reasons, let me say, is to relieve the planet surface from the burden of our development, our energy production and everything. We should move on. So Jeff Bezos is right from this point of view, definitely. In my opinion, the most lucid vision of what we have to do to move outside industrial development, move it outside. So I think that the solar power generated in space is very important, but for space customer, not for Earth customer.
That's exactly what I think too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, moreover, on the backlash against solar power satellites, the whole idea of microwaves, people crossing a microwave beam, people thought, what do you mean, like a microwave oven? And people just, the general public, it was a nightmare. The backlash was really strong in the 70s and later on.
I fully agree. Yes, this is a big issue because you would have gigawatts of energy that are beamed down by microwaves. I think, in my opinion, the people will not accept this kind of solution.
In the early images of energy beaming from space, the ground rectenna was spread over a diameter, I think, of 7 miles, and the beam strength would be less than half that of sunlight. And the result was you could actually have animals grazing in the rectenna area. It was not harmful at all. It was just some stupid nonsense put out by people who just wanted to go against the whole thing.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, but it was extremely effective. It was nightmarish. But yeah, it was totally pseudoscientific for sure. But
yes, I agree. From the technical point of view, would not be dangerous, but I see a big problem of acceptance by the people of this kind of solution. In any case, the rectenna would be huge. The area to be covered would be huge. Exactly because you need to have a very low energy density. But I think this goes counter to the effectiveness of all the solution. Because you need an extremely big rectangle, and I don't know who could invest in this kind of solutions. It seems that the Chinese are investing in any case in this kind of solutions. There is a Chinese project about this. The Chinese government can afford to invest in this.
And by the way, there is also a problem that the yield of this kind of solution, at the end, it could be lower than the sunlight. It can be lower than the photovoltaic, the terrestrial photovoltaic, because of the big. So you have to put this kind of plants very high in geostationary, maybe, or either. And what it arrives to Earth is a very large beam and a very large conical radiation, and somebody makes some calculations that the efficiency will be lower than the solar the photovoltaic, the currently used photovoltaic. Therefore, a very big investment with uncertain return, let me say.
Right. Not to mention clouds, thunderstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes, anything like that.
Yes, yes. In fact, well, however, good. Friends, I think we passed our hour. And if we have no other comments, we have a work to do. I think the first draft will not circulate before April, because only in April we will know if they accepted our abstract. And well, but however, we will develop our paper in any case. Let me say that the target will be different, because maybe a white paper could be a little bit different from an IAC paper from the point of view of the language, maybe. No, white paper should be more an outreach document to explain it to the people with less technical details, let me say. But however, yeah, I think we can start working on it in any way, and in 1 month, no, at the end of March we will know if it was accepted for IAC or not. Okay, so yeah, Jerry, please.
I just want to say I put 2 links in the chat. Yeah, and if you open the chat, go to the very top, click on the 3 buttons there, you can save the chat. So all the links that other people have put in there, you can save. There's 2 events coming up, one in April in Moscow, which I may be helping with a paper on. The other one is next week in London is SpaceCom 2025, and on the first day, Tuesday the 11th, there is a space law symposium in the afternoon, which I shall be attending.
Okay, thank you very much.
Very
Details
interesting.
in the chat.
Jerry?
Yes.
Sorry. That's quite interesting, because I'm trying to get support from the from different people here that are retired in Portugal, Russians and Americans, because in July it's going to be the 50 years ago. In July, we had the International Astronautical Conference in Lisbon, and it was the Apollo Soyuz.
Of course, I
that year. And given it's a symbolic event, even on TV shows like For All Mankind, they make a big deal out of the Apollo Soyuz, and actually, in a way, from my point of view of the growing technium, the connection between Apollo and Soyuz, and there was a connection between Mir and the shuttle, and now on ISS they're still connected somehow. They are basically physically connected. So it's Apollo Soyuz 0.3 in a way. And one wonders what might happen in the future. I don't know. But anyways, I'm trying to put together a small event. I have some support from Portuguese military people that want to talk about it. Because during that event in Lisbon, we were on the verge of civil war in Portugal. And during the IAF conference, the Spanish consulate in front of the venue was destroyed. And during the 20 years I was voting for Portugal and IAF, every now and then, people that had witnessed, there were eyewitnesses of the machine gun toting in the middle of the IAF conference in Lisbon, and they were saying, "Hey, so you guys are taking it easy, right? I remember, geez, well, you did not have a civil war, did you?" So, no, we were on the verge, but we did not have a civil war. So because it really looked pretty bad for your country. So I always and so it was just that the Gulbenkian Foundation and the Spanish Embassy consulate were right in front of each other, so it was impossible to ignore. Anyhow, it's just a curiosity.
Het waren zo'n sessie die ik vergeten was.
By the way, in one of our last meeting of 2025, before, maybe in the board meeting or the committee chairs. I don't remember.
Yeah.
We were saying that we want to have a celebration of the use.
Dat is zo gebeurd.
Yeah, so I think yeah, we have to work on that, and we have a board meeting in 2 days, the Tuesday, and for sure we will talk about that and maybe plan some initiative to celebrate the Apollo Soyuz anniversary that is recurring.
I have to go. Bye.
Okay, I have to go too.
Bye.
We are closing now. Okay.
50 years ago, I
We'll
was
talk to y'all later. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I was at the Kennedy Space Center to see the Apollo launch for that. So it really does mean something to me.
So you saw the launch of that mission.
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw the launch.
Okay. That's just something that it's not it's 50 years anyhow. So
50 years, yeah.
Okay, friends. See you next time. Okay. Thank you very much. Ad astra.
Thank you, Adriano.
Adriano, I've sent an email back saying I won't be able to make the board meeting because I'll be at the British Interplanetary.
I saw it. I saw it. Yeah.
We have a special guest, the actor Brian Blessed,
Okay.
who's very much a supporter of space exploration.
Okay.
Hey.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.